Here we go. All right, guys. So happy Thursday. I'm excited because, of course, I'm always excited. And we have another guest speaker on with us tonight. And this is someone that was, we were honored to be on her team Zoom and talking to her team about some different topics and things where I feel as though you guys definitely need to hear from her. She's been in the business now for a while. She's a very seasoned um, distributor with the company that's a top leader and triple diamond. And, I'm recently getting to know her. We done been in the company now for like 5+ years, but, it's so many people, it can't get to know everybody. So it's great that this company allows you to be able to meet more leaders as they come into your lives at the times that you don't even know they pop in there. So we're going to introduce to you Miss Tavia, Tavia, okay, Foster. And she's going to give you guys a bit of her story, and we're going to take it from there as to different topics to go over. So thank you so much, first off, for getting on. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to get on with us. So we appreciate you.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here. So, hey everyone. All right. So, well, let me tell you a little bit about my story. So, you guys, I've been in this business for 6 years, almost 6 years. So a little background. So I'm a nurse practitioner by trade. I did all the things. I went to school, I got multiple degrees. I thought, oh, I'm going to make so much money, right? Like it's in my head. What I'm thinking as I'm, going through all of this torture of undergrad and graduate school, right? Racking up student debt, mind you, as I'm doing this. My mom's a single mom, definitely had to pay for school on my own, or you just got student loans, right? So I did. I did the degrees and had the life, and we got married and we started having kids, and it was like all this white picket fence, right? You think. Then all of a sudden, I started to realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be making a whole lot of money, and there's like enough, but there's nothing ever left over. There was no savings. What if something happened to the car? All this, all that, right? So we kind of go, and many of you can probably relate that at some point in your life, you got to this point where you're like, ooh, yeah, to retire at age, I don't even know what it is now, 60, probably 75 at some point when it's going to get to that point, right? Like, but I remember vividly thinking to myself, I don't think I can do this for another 50 or, 40 some years, right? Because I was young, I was in my early 20s, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. Now, so hence started the idea of like, okay, well, I'm just going to find, work at home position. Maybe if I can get it home, it's going to free up a little time because I work in the medical field, right? So there's a lot of positions. Sure. It was hard to come by then, right? So I was like, okay, what are we going to do? So we had kid number 3 and it started to get really tight. I had this like mental breakdown one week and I was like, Lord, like, please, like either put something in my path, tell me I'm doing this right, because I literally am going to lose all of it, right? You ever just have those moments where emotionally, mentally, you are like way past capacity? That's where I was. And I don't think that even my husband truly understood the sadness that I had, right? Like I just totally felt just unfulfilled, right? So later that week, a fellow nurse told me about this opportunity, and it's so interesting because I was like, no, I'll try a wrap, but I'm not about to do the business. I didn't, in my head, it was just my ego. Now looking back, was I didn't go to school for as long as I went to school for you to tell me that I can make more than what I make now from my phone. So I was like, sis, I'm going to tell you absolutely not, right? So of course I tried the wrap in hopes that it didn't work, right? Because that's the type of person that I am. No, super, whatever. But so I tried the wrap, you guys, and I got to wrap number 3, and I was like, ooh, okay. I just had a baby. So baby number 3, I was like, I need all the help I can get, right? So lo and behold, 7 days passed. Again, I had a mental breakdown. I was in my kitchen. My husband was working afternoons, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I can do this. So I called her up, and I was like, listen, tell me specifically how much I can make, right? So you start the wheels start turning. Has anyone ever said no first before you said yes? And the wheels start to turn because now what's happening it's almost like God is positioning you in an uncomfortable way. So for you to be like, okay, you know what? You just asked me for an opportunity, yet you were the same person that turned it out, right? Turned it down. And so he's like, so I'm going to continue to make you uncomfortable until you continue to shift and you adjust where I want you to go. And so that's surely what he did that day. And so 7 days after I said no, I said yes. I signed up at about 2 a.m. in the morning when I was working my second job. I did nurse triage from home. And you know, mom's calling in, having babies, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what am I gonna do with my life? You know? So I signed up. I told my husband the next day, hey, by the way, we are now business owners. I have no idea what we're doing, but I gotta go to work because I was working my other job, right? So needless to say, I was that distributor guy. So drop a one if you were the distributor that messaged your upline saying, you know what, I don't think this is for me. Like multiple times in your first 6 months, year, you were like, yeah, I don't think this is for me. I don't think this is for me. Okay. And then I keep going. No, I don't think this is for me, right? Every no that you got, every person that was rude to you, all the people from your past that want to kind of take a bite out of you, right? It starts to play at your emotions because at the time 6 years ago, when you first joined this business, not usually none of us are up to par with self-development. We don't understand that this business is more mindset than it is mechanical action, right? Like I can teach my 10-year-old son how to enroll a customer. That's not hard. What's hard is the resilience and building that, right? So lo and behold, you guys, in 6 months, it was like ignorance on fire. I had no idea how it happened to this day. All I know was that I refused to be the person that didn't succeed. It took me forever. You guys, on day 30, I got 4 customers. Day 30. Like I was like pushing it. Okay. So I got 4 customers, but we went diamond in 6 months. Great. Oh, woohoo. Yeah, great. Got a bonus. Guess what? 2 months later, I lost it. Why? Well, shoot, I had no idea what leadership was. I didn't understand anything. It was just like this sprint, and then all of a sudden it stopped. People were quitting. People were like, "No, I don't think this is for me." And I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? You're making $500. What do you mean this isn't for you?" I didn't understand all that went with it, right? So I had to do a lot of work on me. I didn't find self development until we went double diamond, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it was like blood, sweat, and tears to go double diamond because a lot of it was on me, right? Popping that diamond, popping that ruby here, doing this, doing that. Because again, I didn't understand what layered leadership was. I didn't understand what duplication was. Nobody was there to teach me because my upline quit a year and a half into the business, right? So I was like, okay, what's happening? We're going to do this, right? So I went finally, right before the 2 year mark, I went double diamond and I sat at double diamond for the longest time. I couldn't figure out what it was. And, you know, I think I got gut punched at a conference where it was just like, okay, sis, you want to point the finger at everybody else on your team when really you need to point the finger at you. If you want this bad enough, if you want that promotion, then you need to get up, right? Don't give up, get up, and you need to go make it happen. And I was like, okay, here we go. And you guys, literally in the next 4 months after conference, we promoted to triple diamond. And it was an effortless promotion that I was supposed to promote a month earlier. Didn't happen. It wasn't my time. It was the craziest thing that happened, but whatever. The next month we were like, we're not giving up. We're going to keep going. So we did. We promoted to triple diamond. It was an amazing, amazing accomplishment. You know, much of my team that we went triple diamond with are still with me. And now we're just pushing presidential. But there's a lot of growth that happens. Right now, it's more of a focus of just like, how do we duplicate? You know, I don't want to just win. I want everyone to win. So it's a different sort of culture we're trying to create, and I'm loving every minute of it. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. Do you want me to get into anything else, or just I'll wait for you? Do you want me to wait for you?
No, we already got the plan. You can keep going if you, unless Rusty, you got something to say in reference to the story? Nope. Okay.
No, you know, if you want to just kind of bleed into what you did yesterday,
Yes.
with we have 600 people on the Zoom yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. Like I was like, well, I was sweating. Okay. So yeah, here's the thing. So I need to show up like number, I don't even know what number I'm on. 1, 2, it doesn't really matter. Drop whatever. I need to know those people that are right now in their business. And I want you to be super honest. Okay. Because here's the thing. In order for you to advance, you have to first level set with yourself and meet yourself where you are. A lot of times when we want to try to push the envelope, when we're like, oh yeah, I want to sign 50 customers, sis, you're not even showing up to trainings. You're not even posting. You're not even doing this. So let's start to walk first before we run. Okay. You can do it, but let's kind of advance a little bit. So for show of hands, who right now is feeling very heavy, whether it's in life, whether it's in business, everything I'm doing isn't working. There's a lot of just like poor me mentality. We all have it. We all have it. But who is in that season right now? Because I'm talking specifically to you, and I want you to kind of understand a couple of things. I think a lot of times you got to kind of pause, and it's this unwavering honest moment you got to have with yourself. And what I mean is ask yourself about your self-discipline. So if you were an employer and you were about to hire someone for the job and you interviewed with the work ethic you have right now, would you hire yourself? And it's a very honest question. And I think many of us, depending on the day, right, probably be like, sis, no, I wouldn't even let you come in for an interview, let alone hire you. Okay. Right. But seriously, we all have those days, right? And so, first and foremost, I think self awareness is so incredibly important as you're trying to build the self discipline, right? A lot of people will ask me, well, Tavia, I just lost my passion. I'd be like, look, passion, that's great. At the end of the day, we all need a driving force. But here's what you need to remember: passion comes from action, right? So unless you're doing something, it will never create enough momentum for you to feel passionate about continuing to do it. It's very simple, right? You don't have to do a lot of trickery to the mind to motivate it, right? So first and foremost, have that, really honest moment, that honest conversation with yourself, and ask yourself about self-discipline, right? So I firmly believe that, you guys, success is not a pretty picture with a coffee mug. That's not success. Success is showing up in the same way every single day, despite how you feel, despite what customer canceled, despite how many people are leaving your team, despite whatever else is happening in your life. And we know a lot of things happen, right? We're not downplaying or disagreeing that the season you're in is hard. But the whole point, I firmly believe, of us going through some crazy seasons is for the change in and of itself, right? You're never the same when you go into a season as you come out, right? The whole point of it is change, it's growth, and it's uncomfortable, right? So those people that are kind of having this honest moment and you're like, ooh, self-discipline, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about what I have shifted. And I was very honest with myself and I said, listen, it would be great to be this mass enroller. And I don't even like, and I'm so glad Amber like talked about it yesterday. I don't like saying the term mass enroller. I think we need to start normalizing steps. Let's look at my shirt. Look at this shirt. Steps to success on repeat. Okay. My girl's on here who made this for me. I don't know if Shabri's on here. This is like a slogan that we have, right? We need to start normalizing steps to, do you guys know this has been around since the beginning of this business, you guys? If it didn't work, we wouldn't keep talking about it. So let's throw mass enrolling out the window. Okay. Let's not fixate on being mass enrollers. What you need to fixate on is steps to success. What you need to fixate on is the self-discipline to show up in the same way every single day, right? So for me, based on the season I'm in, I needed to streamline. I asked myself, okay, it'd be great if I could get up and do 2 power hours in a row. And then at lunchtime, I have another 3 hours to work my business. And then in the evening, I have 5 hours. Nobody has that kind of time. And even if you had that kind of time, do you think people talking to you or you having conversations, people would want to work an online business on top of everything else they do for 8+ hours a day? Absolutely not, right? So I had to figure out, how can I produce more, but spend less time? Because here's why. Here's why this was really heavy for me. It was because I refused to believe the lie that I can't be a good mom and a good wife and a good business owner and a good friend and a good sister and a good whatever else other hat I wear. I can be all of it, and I can be all of it at once, right? You don't have to pick and choose. It's not an either or situation unless you make it that way. So what we did is I reached out to Amber. Amber Parker is my girl. She's one of my mentors. And I was like, look, something's got to give, because here's the thing. I'm not a stranger to hard work. I can do the work. What was missing from me, personally, was the self-discipline to show up in the same way every single day, right? It was doing the same tasks every single day. Listen, do you think we all want to wake up and we're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to message 1,000 people. It's going to be so great. No, none of us are excited about doing that. But at the end of the day, that has to get done. If you want to propel forward in your business, things like this has to get done, right? So I was like, okay, I got to bring the fun back, because here's why. when you're not having fun and it's these monotonous tasks over and over, you can do that for so long. But what happens is even though you, seasoned person like me, even, I had the self-discipline first to a certain extent to continue doing that. But a newbie doing what I'm doing in the monotonous way that we do it isn't going to last. I had to figure out, how can I duplicate so that not only I'm winning, but my team can win too, right? Doesn't have to be complicated, doesn't have to be this long drawn out process, right? So we implemented something called a Power 30. All right. Now, for those people, do you guys do host to post? I know you do host to post, right? You guys know what host to post is. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure some of you may be thinking, oh, host to post, yeah, it worked at one time and now it doesn't work. Okay. Well, I was that way too. Okay. I had a love-hate relationship with host to post, and I'll be honest with you. I think it was more the I could do the messaging, but it was the organization, right? I think we're either good in the beginning of messaging or we're good at the organization, but to put it together is really difficult, right? Unless you're super disciplined and you have a system. Okay. But a lot of times the system that many of us have, it's not duplicatable. So I have my own system, but then you have your system and they have their system, right? And it gets a little complicated. So here's what we do. And this was a game changer, you guys. Game changer. Every single night, you guys, when you think about your day, and many of us are really busy, we're up early, we're doing kids, we're taking care of people, we're doing all the things, we're going to work. Now, your day has to, and I repeat, has to start the night before. We no longer have the luxury to wake up and think that in 10 minutes, we can figure out the course of our day and how we're going to fit this business into our life, right? We can no longer do that. Okay. That's like a non-negotiable. It's not acceptable. So what we did is we shifted and we start the next day, the night before. What do I mean? So at night, before we put our phone down, we're going to send 30 host to post green light, right? I don't know what you guys call it, green light, like messages. Hey, my team's doing this giveaway. It's free to enter. All you have to do is throw up a post. I'll send it to you. Are you in? Right? Whatever that looks like for you guys. Okay. 30 to your friends list. Okay. It's very simple. Send 30. Now here's the kicker though. Ready? You are not to answer those responses that night. Like when I send out 30, like when I'm done with this at some point, probably 30 minutes, about 10:30, I will send my 30 messages. I will not respond to anyone, even if they respond back to me. Okay. I put my phone down once my 30 messages are done and I pray over it. Lord, please bless what I have put my hands to. I feel and I see that my inbox is going to be flooded in the morning with host to post messages. I'm so grateful, right? You go to bed. Once you're done sending 30 messages, you've got to be self-disciplined enough to turn off your phone and allow yourself the opportunity to decompress. Sometimes we're so like, who falls asleep with their phone in their hand? Okay, we gotta stop doing that. All right, because I'm gonna tell you right now that you're not showing up in your best light when you're so exhausted. Okay, you've got to start taking care of you so that in turn you can start taking care of your business in a better way, right? So send 30 messages, put the phone down, you pray over it, you go to bed. In the morning when you get up, it's a very like systematic routine. So it always starts with prayer and gratitude, right? When you wake up in the morning, what devotional are you reading? What journaling? Maybe it's silence, maybe it's affirmations. You take 10 minutes and you do that. Okay. Then my team knows we switch the next 10 minutes. This is 30 minutes, guys, 30 minutes. So the next 10 minutes, I'm in my inbox. Who responded back to me on host to post? Who do I need to get my host to post messages sent out to? Okay, boom, boom. How many do I have? Our goal every day is 10 host to post, right? So in my head, if I only have 5 people in my inbox, that last 10 minutes of my 30 minutes in the morning, I'm sending more messages. Why? Because my goal in the beginning of my day is to get up the host to post. I'll wait till lunchtime, Power 30, to message on, or comment back on the host to post that are already up for me. Then at night, it's focused around sending out my DT ask messages because every person that posts for you, they're a potential distributor, right? And then I send my 30 and I go to bed and I do it all over again. So it's a very systematic thing. It takes no brain cells. It's very mechanical. You got to start taking the emotion out of it. Whenever you're sending messages at night, the 30 messages, for those people who like to look at the name, oh my gosh, like I know Amber was talking about this. She's like, oh, I went to high school with her. She was really mean. I don't want to send it to her. Oh my gosh, she's so pretty. I don't think she's going to say yes. So I don't want to send it to her. Oh my gosh, it's a guy. Ooh, I don't want to send it to him, right? Like all of these excuses you give yourself is to not send it to somebody. Do 2 things. You either send the message or you unfriend that person because they don't need to take up real estate in your friends list if your goal is to utilize social media as one of the main ways to make money in this business, right? So I think there has to come that, again, self-awareness. You got to be aware that you're doing it, right? In order for you to change something, you have to be aware that you do it in the first place. And it's a really hard thing, you know? And people are like, well, I don't want to unfriend them. Why? What, like, is someone going to come and like get you that like, oh my God, she unfriended me. And so now I'm going to talk about her. Like, who cares? Like, who cares, right? At the end of the day, we all know the statement. That doesn't, the opinions that other people have of you is none of your business anyway. Let them talk. They're going to talk anyway, right? And half the time, people that talk about you, they don't even like themselves that well. So at the end of the day, you're really not missing out, okay? So unfriend or send the message, period, right? And then move through 30. Now, one little tip is we like to go into our friends list now. You can sort A to Z. You can sort oldest to newest, or you can sort either of those ways and click on the first person, go to their mutual friends. Like if I was friends with Carissa and I saw, and she wasn't a distributor, okay? And I saw she has like 40 mutual friends. Boom, there's my 30 messages. I'm going to go into my mutual friends because they're friends with me too. And I'm literally going to go down the list. Why is that? Like, it's not really a trick because I'm friends with them. What it does for those people that your attention span is very quick, it helps you realize, oh, it's only one person that I'm going into. And I'm just messaging one list. I can go down the line versus going, okay, let me go to this friend. Okay, message. Okay, let me go back and go to this friend. That gets monotonous and some people lose their place. So it's almost just like you're tricking your brain to think you're working smarter, not harder, right? So there's just a few tips on how we do it, but that every single night is a non-negotiable. Some people only send 30 messages a day, and that's great. If you've never sent any, start with just 30 at night. Don't overwhelm yourself, right? You don't have to do 30 at night, 30 in the morning, 30 at lunch, 30 at night. You can, but you don't have to start off with, right? Create the self-discipline of this now and set yourself up for tomorrow. And I promise you, when you are prepared for the next day like this, it goes like clockwork. Once the 30 minutes comes in the morning, guess what? My phone goes down. I pray over what I've done and it goes up. Because here's the thing. You've got to start remembering that we have to be super obedient with our time. And if we're not, it does no good for our business. And that's not going to get blessed, right? At the end of the day, it's not. Because what happens with a lot of us is we're on our phone. How many of you guys are like on your phone? And you're like, oh, I'm just going to spend like 15 minutes. And then all of a sudden you're on YouTube and then you're back on Facebook. And then all of a sudden you wound up on TikTok. Like, I don't even know how this happened. How am I on TikTok? What? And then you just keep scrolling through the videos. And then you forgot what you were doing in the first place, right? We are not obedient of our time. And I'm pretty sure many of you can agree that you get on there and you're not as obedient as you should be. And so 30 minutes, if you're truly the person that says, I'm busy, then I guess I would ask you to have an honest conversation with yourself. Okay, if you're so busy, do you scroll? Are you just in wherever you are, right? Because if you are, then you're really not busy. You're busy because you think you're busy doing all the stuff you shouldn't even be doing, right? So it's really just streamlining and asking yourself that honest question, right? Like, am I self-disciplined? Would I hire myself in the state that I'm in? If that is a no, you got to start working on the self-discipline. When you start working on the self-discipline, you're going to increase your production. When you increase your production, you're going to increase your confidence. It's going to increase your motivation and increase your passion. It's cyclical, guys. And it's just going to go like this, right? Like I don't start having, oh my God, I have so much passion to send host to post. No, that's not how that starts, right? It's a mechanical thing. It has no emotion for me. It is a message that I send through boards to 30 people. That's it, right? So hopefully that makes sense. I don't even know if there's questions. I haven't even been looking. But hopefully that makes sense, the process.
Yep.
Okay.
That made perfect sense. I hope a lot of you guys got some great tips from that and not just let it go out the other ear, but utilize it. It's a great system that I think that everyone should be able to take advantage of. Before bed, boom, you're free. Yeah. Midday, boom, you got a lunch break, or you can go to the bathroom. Yep. Boom, right after work, you got another break. There you go. You can do it in the car before you start that drive home. So you have breaks in between to get it done. It's just being strategic about it, prioritizing your busy, meaning prioritizing your TikTok time and your whatever else time or whatever you call busy, whatever that busy is. So I love that. You want to go on to the next thing? or Rusty, you got something to say in between before?
Yeah, she mentioned something earlier about getting disciplined to get it done. If your job asked you to do it and you had to do it, or you'd be fired, you'd do it anyway. It might be monotonous. And, I start the 20th year. I was talking to the man this morning. I start my 20th year next month on the 3rd, I believe. And they asked, how's it, have you been full-time all these years? And we've done very well. The organization is into the billions of dollars of sales. But it's what you become or who you become in the process.
Absolutely.
I've seen a lot of hard things. I've seen the ups and the downs. And it's like every one of your life. You've got seasons where you've had some great times. You've got seasons you've had some bad times. You got some seasons where you just feel like giving up.
Yeah.
But that's who you become in the process. See, everybody on this Zoom here, you all live in the greatest nation on planet Earth. And I was reading a book today by Winston Churchill. And in times of adversity, what did the great men and women of our yesteryear that got us to this point, and not only in our country, but in the world, how did they handle the adversity? Much worse than we've ever seen. Much worse. What did they do? They stood up and they faced adversity, but by facing it, it's who they become. And people, they learn to follow you because they learn to trust you because you will never quit. You make up your mind. You can't buy me away from Mark Pentecost Networks Global. You can't run me off. You can't shoot me off. You can't kill me off. You can't. I'm here for life. And when you make up your mind, I'm going to honor my word. When you start that process, and I love the fact that you're into your devotions in the morning. I started reading Psalms 126 last night before I went to bed. I will challenge all of you that have the Christian faith, just look it up and start at 124 and read through 127. Very short, only 3 or 4 or 5 verses in each one, but it's the meaning that I got out of those particular verses to let us know that it's exactly where we are, and the encouraging word that, and when you pray over something and you release that that blessing begins to be released to you, and that vibration or energy, whatever you want to call it. I just believe in God. I believe He blesses your efforts, not your wishes and not your scrolling, not your wasting of time, but He blesses your productive time. So anybody can be busy, but are you busy being productive? Are you busy in a productive way that pays you out of debt, as if it pays your mortgage off? Are you busy in the way that it is you're adding value and investing in your health or into your children? The reason I left it is the bank. I had the most monotonous job. We showed up, we did the same repetitive thing every single day. And I see why people do drugs, and I see why I don't do drugs. I rarely touch alcohol. And I see why they drink at lunch and they drink after. The job is so monotonous. I'm so busy having fun in this full-time life I've had for almost 20 years with this woman I love more than life. I've been with for 43 years. And there's 2 beautiful daughters she gave me. We've been a full-time adventurous family, but income generating activities are what was the priorities that we had to get done every single day. We got it done before we went out back and got in the swimming pool or the hot tubs, or before we took off in a trip to Europe or wherever. We had to get it done, and we had to get very focused. And I wanted to do it for me. Do you know why? Because investing my time in the particular way, as she's telling you now, she's giving some of you some great tips. Oh, that's hard. No, it's not. It's just get your ass in gear and do it.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I promise you, the way it works global is set up. We're not like any other direct sales company in the world. Because I want to tell you something. I want to point out, she is not part of my team. She is a cross-line sister. So that means she's kin to us. And that's where we've created community. Upline, downline, sideline, crossline. We come together as community and we have each other's back. And I'll tell you why we do that. That creates solvency or foundation in our opportunity that we move forward together. There ain't but 400 or 500 billion people in the world, or whatever it is. Nobody here has the ability to touch them all. Each one of them has a different sphere of influence, but she just gave me a tip that I didn't even think about. I will start to utilize it just in a few minutes when we get off of here. But make up your mind that you're worth it. The more you succeed in this, the more worth and self-value when you invest in you. Like you said, invest in you in your prayer time, whoever you're praying to, invest in your time into growing you as to become that leader. And when you make up your mind, I'm going to grow, it ain't how far you go in this business. It's what I've become, the man I've become in the last almost 20 years through the ups and the downs and fighting the adversities and having those runs of good times. Now I'm gonna tell you this, I ain't saying nothing else till we end it. I promise you, I've worked my entire career for next month. I've worked my entire 20 years for the run we're fixing to go on. I promise you, when I get off the jet next, the 18th, when we have everybody on here, I probably ain't gonna be able to tell you what I know is gonna happen. But after conference, it's like Noah building the ark. He built it for 120 years. He told everybody it's gonna happen. And we've had some great runs. I promise you, we've had some monster runs where we picked up millions of dollars of business in a weeks, and keep growing.
Yeah.
That's not out of the realm of nobody here, but it's the person you're going to become now to lay the foundation that you can handle. See, right now, a lot of you can't handle but $500 a month. If you start making $156,000 a month, or that month you hit that kind of income, are you mature enough to handle it? Are you going to invest it correctly and wisely? Are you going to get poor girl or poor boy rich and you go buy some Louis and some red bottom shoes and the Mercedes? Next thing, all that money's gone, and what I do with it? You have taxes to pay. You got to be smart with it. So the more you grow in this business and utilize what she's telling you, the more you grow and the more you mature. When you get to that level of maturity, God says, wow, I can bless Katie with more. She's mature enough. She handled a little bit very well. I'll give her a little bit more and see what she does with that, and a little bit more. Next thing you know, it's not the go-getters, it's the go-givers. And God, the law of reciprocity states that always comes right back to you, but it has to flow through you. That's where the person you become. I'm talking about all of us mature. I even got a lot more maturing to do myself. I'm almost 60. I'm gonna be here in another 60 years doing this with Mark. You know why? Because I want to mature for one reason. Everything I want to do with this business, the reason my motto, I'll get back with you in 10 minutes, I'll do 3, whatever you need around the clock, is I want to enrich your life. I want to add value to your life. I want you to create a legacy that's unparalleled to anything that's in your family. I want you to be the first in your family. And when you really read about, how many of you, just hold your hand up, put a 1 in the chat if you want to really leave a great legacy. You want to be the first in your family to make the $1 million, or to get out of debt, or to own your own home, to own your business from home. You know what legacy is? That's what they're saying about you after you die. When they plant you in the ground, is how will you be remembered? Oh, I was a quitter. I started, I stopped. I made every excuse in the world. By the time they get back to the church here in the South, when they get back to the church, they forgot about who they just put in the ground. As soon as they say, pass the Southern style potato salad, they done forgot about you because you didn't do nothing of consequence to make an impact on your family. Does that make any sense?
Oh, yeah.
And so, okay, go ahead now.
Oh, that's so good. And as he was talking, I kept thinking, one thing that I usually will say, and I've said it to myself, is, I always say this prayer. It's like, God, please, prayer Jabez, right? I don't know if anyone knows that. I say that every single day, but I also say too, like, please elevate me and just like expand my territory, but not beyond what my character can sustain. Because I think a lot of times, like he was saying, we want all the things that we see other people have. Yet if you truly had it, if he says, okay, boom, here you go, you wouldn't know what to do with it because your disposition hasn't grown, right? Your character hasn't grown. So you want the elevation, but you're not ready to elevate yet. So I think there's a lot of work, that needs to be done with that.
Yeah, you know what she just said is a key word. It was a power word. She said your disposition. Yeah. She didn't say your position. Nope. Your disposition is what builds the character, not your title. You can have the blue blanker, black diamond, Korean guru, world hugger, moon, blue, whatever. That don't mean nothing. It is how you carry yourself every single day. So that disposition, let that resonate in your head as who you become and who you are. And can I count on what you say when people say something and you look, do they look at you and say, oh, I wonder what she meant by that? Because they know that you're very predictable. And so when you become very predictable, what I want out of this group and out of everybody in the company before we go before you warriors show up to wage war on September, what I want you to make up your mind, I'm going to grow and I'm going to be that warrior and I'm going to take the fight to poverty. I'm going to take the fight to people that need to get healthier. See, that's what this is. This is nothing more than we're a great team of warriors and we're going to take the fight to it. And see, if it wasn't hard, everybody would be over here doing it. You just get so repetitive in what they programmed you to do on your little job. They say the 40, 40, 40. Well, that's a lie. 40 hours a week for 40 years, retire with a $40 gold watch, and you're wealthy. I've never met that person. In fact, now most people don't stay anywhere but 2 to 3 years, and they're gone again because they're dissatisfied. They're hungry for they're looking for something else. And also with your disposition, in my state right now, there's between 70 and 80% of everybody that has a residence in North Carolina that is looking for an in-home based business. We ain't the only state. So now I'm telling you, the berries are ripe. You better don't get a bucket, get a dump truck. Because it's what you do from now to September. And when he makes those announcements, you're going to be stunned for about 3 minutes, but go to work. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I love that. It's so true. Yeah, it's a statement. The disposition comes before the position, right? You can say all day long, I want black, whatever it is, black, it doesn't matter. But the disposition has to come before the position. And I think that, and so for me, it's great to want to chase after the nice car and the nice house and all that stuff, but let's be real for a minute. And you've got to love the journey too. We need to stop being like, okay, well, I'm going to love this journey once I hit diamond. No, you got to love the whole process, because like you said, who you become throughout that journey, that's the person taking you to that end goal. So you got to love this process and allow yourself the opportunity to grow into that. One of the things too that I just kind of vividly remember, thinking, or actually, I think I heard this somewhere, where it says things will change you, but they don't always have to reduce you. And you've got to remember that no matter what storm you're going through, it is going to change you, but you don't always have to be reduced by it, meaning your worthiness, your self-confidence, all that you hold value to yourself, right? You're going to go through those seasons. You're not exempt. None of us are exempt from going through hard times, right? But it's the resilience you have to come back even stronger, one thing I do want to say, you guys, is that a lot of times, I don't know if any of you guys have been on here and you guys have looked at other top leaders and you kind of were like, oh my gosh, she's just so good. Oh, here's the thing to remember. You guys are seeing highlights, right? Even me being on the Zoom, you're seeing a highlight of what I am today on August 5th of 2021. If you would have seen me 3 years ago, last year, 5 years ago, on the same day, you would have gotten a completely different person. So what I want you guys to understand and remember is that sometimes when you guys start to look at other VIP leaders as inspiration, don't look at it as just inspiration and not emulation, right? There's a difference between kind of self-sabotaging yourself as you're looking at other leaders saying, oh, wow, that's a really good content idea. Not, oh my gosh, she's prettier than me. Oh, wow, that's a really good this. Or, you know what? She's really, really good. I'm so unworthy. She's probably found all the customers, so there's probably none left, right? Think about it. We do this all the time. And if you catch yourself doing that, unfollow. You can literally look up their page at any time to get inspiration. Start unfollowing, because your joy and your peace has to stay within you, because you are the only you. You've heard this thing. You are the only you. That is your power. And until you step into your own journey, you will always feel jealous, let's just be real, of someone else's journey that's better than yours. But when you start to love the journey that you're on, no matter where you are in that journey, then you start to have this great gratitude towards other people winning, instead of looking at other people winning and saying, dang, good for her. Wow, must be nice. I wish, right? I wish is code for I'll never change. I don't want to change. I don't want to do anything different, but I wish I had this, right? If you want it and if you wish for it, you got to work for it, right? I think that a lot of times I've heard people say, oh, I'm just going to pray about it. I'm just going to pray. And that's great. But action, he will bless action, right? We are not exempt from just saying the words and, oh, Lord Jesus, can I please have $1 million? And he's going to be like, okay, sure. I'm going to give you this small little idea to get your own home-based business. And I'm going to see what you do with it. That is $1 million. But what you see is a whole lot of work. What I see is a legacy, like Rusty's saying, that you're going to leave for your family. But if you don't see what I see, then you're never going to see that this little mustard seed, right? This little thing I've given you can grow to everything you want it to be, because you wanted a different gift than what he gave you. And I think we've got to get kind of like real a little bit and level set. Like when you're asking you shall receive, absolutely. But understand it's not always going to look the way you think it's going to look or should look, right? It's not packaged up in these pretty little bows, you know? But we are so consumed at looking outside at everyone else instead of staying laser focused on him and on our journey. And so you're missing all the things that he's trying to teach you along the journey, right? And like Rusty was saying, like, you know, we've changed, right? And is it, you know, is it just the products in our health? No, it's more than that, right? When you start to work your business from a place of service, it is the most gratifying thing you ever can have. Instead of looking at it as, well, who can serve me? It's like, no, who can I serve today? And like you was saying too, I love having conversations with people, whether or not they sign up. I want someone to leave me better than they found me, right? I want to influence them and be impactful enough to where even if they don't sign with me, that small thing that I said to them may carry with them over the next month. And then maybe they'll do what they have always wanted to do, but fear was preventing them, right? You got to start looking at it from that perspective, because I think when you do, you'll just be blessed abundantly. And it's just amazing whenever it happens, for me at least.
I have a question for you in reference to comfort. So you were working 2 jobs when you first started business, and just being sick and tired of working those jobs is what made you decide to go forth as far as taking the business seriously and ranking up? Or did you have those moments that you rather your comfort of your everyday life versus what you could see, what you couldn't see would have happened?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was very uncomfortable. I was actually, you know, honestly, I was pissed. Like, I think I had gotten to a point in my life where I was like, really? I did all of this, right? Like, you know how the generational mindset, you got to go to school, then you got to graduate, then you got to get 10,000 degrees, right? And I did what I thought I was keyword, told to do. And I made money, but I was so incredibly unhappy and I just felt so unfulfilled. I knew that what I was doing wasn't what I was meant to do, but I didn't know or believe that there was another option. So when this was when she approached me with this, again, it was my ego talking, because I had to kind of knock myself down a few notches where I realized, okay, sis, like, it's not about you, right? But at the end of the day, if you just ask God to move, he's moving, yet you're denying it. So what do you want, right? And I think that, you know, you guys need to really understand that you are the one person that's holding yourself back from a lifetime of just opportunity. I think that there's a difference. I don't look at things every day now as like, oh, how can I make that quick money? It's like I'm looking at things and what's the opportunity here? How can I be impactful here? How do I change lives in this way? What is this going to look like? How is this going to affect the masses, right? You start thinking different. But then when I was working 2 jobs, listen, I didn't have time. No one ever has time to do this business. I think there's a huge misconception about that. You make time for what you want to make time for. And I was in a position in my life where hard work didn't scare me. What scared me was living out my life in the same way that I had been doing every single day, and missing every single moment and still not being able to feel fulfilled by the time I died. That was what terrified me, right? And I don't know if anyone has ever thought that, felt that, but it terrified me. And I thought to myself, you know what? If I can sacrifice now and do what not many others are willing to do at my age, then maybe at some point I can live a life that not many are able to live, but only dream of living. And that was where I was just focused. And I was like hustling. I was doing everything that I could do. Did I have doubts? Heck yeah. Did I think I couldn't do it? Heck yeah. Right? I had that. I wasn't exempt from that. But there was always something that just kept me going, whether it was looking at my kid's face, whether it was looking at myself in the mirror, whether it was just like, okay, but I'm not a liar. That's one thing that I'm not. And I wasn't about to prove that for myself, right? You know, and so I knew I couldn't quit. I had come too far, whether it was a week, a month, 6 months, a year, I had come too far. So there's no looking back and there's no quitting now. I got to figure it out and be resourceful. And I think that's the difference where I realized, and it shifted for me after going diamond and people started leaving. I said, okay, I have to shift this, because at the end of the day, like, it wasn't about me. And I needed to stop taking it personal that people were leaving based on me, what I was doing or not doing. And I had to really realize that, okay, if I truly want this, okay, then stop being a part of the problem and start being solution minded. I had to be resourceful. I had to pivot. I had to move. I had to shift. I had to change. It's no different than you going to work out and you're pushing your muscles to the max, guys, like every single day, right? At some point, your body will adjust, does it not? Your bodies will get more toned. The muscle will come. You'll start to see a difference. It's no different than my mind, right? And I had to push it to that point so that eventually it would shift. Eventually it would pivot. Eventually it would align with where I was trying to go. And then it would be another like level that I'd have to climb, right? Because my disposition had to come before the position. If I wanted it, I was going to have to elevate. And a lot of times when we think of elevate, it's not physical, it's mental. And it is a grind. It is an everyday thing that you got to show up in a way that that next level would show up. People ask me, well, what does that look like? I don't know. I'm just doing it. I'm doing things I've never done before, and it is very uncomfortable. But guess what? That's when I've grown the most. Think about all the seasons you've been in, all the crazy, horrific, hard, tough, tearful seasons. Is that not the seasons or the seasons that you have grown the most, that you have changed the most? We don't change in the seasons where nothing bad, negative, overwhelming is happening. We don't change, we stay the same. But in the seasons that are trying and they are pushing us, that is when I've always seen the most growth in myself. And I look back on those seasons and I say, okay, I understand what you were trying to teach me. Because going through it, you don't. And it's always this question of why me? Why me? Why me? Why not you? Why not you? Because maybe at some point you don't see what I'm trying to do for you in season 2 because you have no idea that in season 5, I'm about to test you like no other, but I need to prepare you right now in season 2 so that you're ready for season 5, right? So I don't think it needs to be a question any longer of questioning him on why it's happening. Instead, say, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? No matter what, it's here, right? It's here. If you're in the season, you know what I'm talking, it's here. So how do you grow? How do you elevate? How do you pivot? How do you shift? Yeah.
Some good stuff. It's kind of like exercising. We punch it hard every day. I'll issue a challenge to you. Any of y'all do push-ups? Have you ever seen my daughters in their workouts that they do in the afternoons? They get up at 5 a.m. and do those workouts too. And when you do the push-ups, if you're going to do 25, when you get to 25, say, I'm not stopping here. I've got one more in me. I've got one more in me. Next thing you know, you're doing 28. The next day you're doing 30. And push yourself. I got one more in me. And when you have that one more, you will train yourself to push through to the next level. See, your body's really a stupid organ. It's this is what your body's going to do exactly what your mind tells it. So if you push through that little bit of pain, she brought up the pain in the muscles. When you push through in the mind, I can do one more, your confidence starts to grow. And then you become limitless, not limited, but limitless. And when you start to become limitless, you'll push yourself to 50, 55. And when you do 55, there's something else that happens. Your self-confidence gets up. I can do that. Now you get to where I can do anything. Can't nothing hold me back except me. And be careful who you're listening to. Be careful that those poor people is telling you that just don't work. And when you got 20 years of before and afters here with Mark and I, that the business works, the products work, nothing here. The only thing is on trial is y'all. Are you going to work? You know, you're the one that's on trial. And if you was going after your dream job, God forbid, dream job, what you thought to be dreamy, like mom and daddy programs you and school programs you. And by the way, nowadays, every 4 years, even Harvard Business School, their information is inundated. It's no longer useful about every 3 to 4 years. So that degree don't mean a whole bunch. You can't, right now, there's people on this Zoom making more money than the average doctors from home. There's more money making more money. People on Zoom making more money than your average specialist from home. And here's what I love about it. The first month we went double down and we built an organization of 635 people. I went all in. I want to ask you this. If you're not all in, why do you think somebody wants to be in with you if you're not all in? How do you expect somebody to get all in with you when you're not all in? And when you make your mind up, I'm going to get all in, at the end of that month, and we were very exhausted. We'd have 18, 20 hours a day. We have no social media. We had a phone and a phone book and contacts of contacts, and we would call. And we was diamond in the 8th day, double diamond in 28th day, and we made about right around $9,997, I think, was our first check with It Works Global back in the day. I told you that story, and we worked really hard for 2 years. I started getting sick in the second year. And then the next 4 years, I got very sick, and I'm doing medical treatment because I gained up to 750 pounds because I had a tumor wrapped around my pituitary. I've only lost 507 pounds last time I weighed, and it's been a while, and we're still working out hard. I'm almost 60. But here's what I want to tell you. When adversity hits you in your life, the bank that I work for as a senior vice president, nobody sent no cards, they didn't send no flyers, they didn't bring no meals over here, they didn't even come over, they didn't care if I was going to live or die, because I was no longer useful because I terminated the lease with them. And so when you make up your mind, but you know what happened? There's people that it's above some of you that we talked every day. I couldn't hardly do nothing, but when they would call me to do a 3-way, even though I was confined to a recliner at that point, I would go somewhere else in my mind. But I have never missed a check every month for going on 20 years off of what we did the first year. So even in the times of adversity, I got paid, and I always got a raise. And when my father got sick and I had to spend 37 straight days in the hospital holding his hand before I had to have him unplugged, there's another challenge and adversity. A man that was my hero, my best friend in the world other than my wife, and I have to unplug him. I got a call from Cindy Pentecost every day to pray with me because she knew the struggle we were going through. But I never walked out of there, but I never missed a paycheck. This residual income, you make money while you sleep. So it's worth going all in and taking the wow factor and creating the it factor. And your wow factor becomes whatever your why is, which is with my kids and my wife. And then to be there with my father during his final days. There's a time it's going to happen that you're going to do something for the very last time. You'll walk out of your house one day the last time. You'll walk out of your bathroom the last time. You'll open your refrigerator the last time. I will never forget the morning I took him to the hospital with kidney failure, when he turned around and looked at everything like that was his last time. I said, get in the truck, let's go. You got it. If you've ever read the book I wrote, it tells all about it. But you'll do something for the last time. So that brought me to this part. When is the last time you did something for the first time? Something that will invest and impact your family in ways that only this business will do it. You can't keep hustling all this other stuff. And this stuff I'm hearing, all these business coach, life coaches, there's like a bunch of cockroaches running around, and they never have the business they've built, taken their plan and built a big business that can implement that. They just heard somebody else, they're selling courses. I'm not selling you nothing but freedom. Physical wellness, I've done it. I was supposed to die 15 years ago. First million in 42 months here. I'm not telling you that to brag, because every one of you is going to do it. You're on the way to doing it right now. It's just I determined I was never going to quit till I won, till I helped some other people win. That's what teamwork is all about. Without a team, your dream will never come true. When you pour yourself into this team and you make up your mind, we're going after it, because unconditional love is the fuel of a warrior. You love something so much that you're going to get all in, you're going to put it all in, and therefore people will get just as committed as you are. When you lose people along the way, hell, you lose people along the way in everything from a church to a grocery store to any job out there. You got the ones that thought they wanted it until the responsibility comes. And do you know why the people that win the lottery? I heard a lady said, if I could just win the lottery. I said, well, you'd be broke in 12 months. Because you'd be poor girl rich, you'd go spend, and you'd just be poor girl rich, and I could see the way you would walk and carry your pocketbook and pull your hat and have big sunglasses. All that stuff costs a lot of money. You would have all these people marketing you, these celebrity people marketing you to unhinge you from your money, because you didn't have enough discipline to go invest and keep living like you're living simple. A simple life is a great life, especially when you become a full-time family. And when you make up your mind, I'm going to do the things correctly today. I'm going to invest in my time, in my health. I'm going to invest the time into my business, because therefore that's making a major investment in your family. And maybe your family don't matter like mine does. I don't know. But those two little girls that are grown ladies now, I got so many memories. I didn't have to wait for somebody else to raise my kids. Not the grandmamas, not the teachers, not the nobodies. Their mother and I did it. You know why? Because I was just crazy enough to walk away from the bank. And I believed in Mark Pentecost. Here's something about your CEO. You're going to learn really about him If you haven't learned about him now, that he's a man of his word, he's putting you in a positions to win. In September, I swear to God, I've worked 20 years, going on 20 years, put it in there with him for September, because I knew this day was coming. Here comes your perfect storm. You're either going to take, you're going to take a hold of it and go after it, or you're going to keep on making those flipping excuses like you made like your mama did, your grandmama did. That generational curse is going to plague you, and it's going to plague your kids. And hopefully one day your great grandson will say, well, I'm tired of this. I'm going to do something different. Direct sales is the only thing I've ever seen that does not discriminate. I don't care who you are. If you got just a couple of dollars, you can get started in a business like this. And if you've got the wherewithal to go after it through the rough, the bad, the good, the ugly. The reason that you went to the first grade and they put you in the second, you was not mature enough to go to the eighth. And so I don't care how well you exceptional you did in the first, if there is a process to this business. Now, it's entirely up to you how quick your process, how long it takes you. It's up to you. As how engaged are you going to be in the activities that lay the foundation, which is something solid that builds tomorrow. See, I don't care. Today you have to lay foundation for tomorrow. You can't just wake up and go through your day. You're going to grow through it. But if you laid the right foundation in your health, in your business, and how much you love your wife or your husband, or how much you love those kids, and they know it, that's part of, and you read so much tonight, and you do your messaging tonight, and that is laying foundation for tomorrow. In the event God wakes you up, you have a purpose to go fulfill. And when you make up your mind, I'm going to get in here, I'm going to become the professional. You can't treat this like a hobby. And they said, well, I didn't make but $35. Well, you're treating it like a hobby. I didn't get in this for a hobby. I got in this to get rich. I got in to be a full-time daddy. And I got tired of all the BS I was being handed at corporate. And I hear there's more BS being handed now than ever being handed. And you know what? I feel sorry for you. I pray for every one of y'all every day. Every one of you. It's the truth. You know why? Because I want God to grip your mind, to grip your soul, to grip your heart. And for what you've been praying for, that you know that's right in front of you right now, it's unfolding, and you cannot play with this like it's a hobby. You cannot be disillusioned or subdivided into being a jack of all trade or Jill of all trades. You need to become a professional. Somebody said, well, I have to have multiple streams of income. I said, you've never had but one your whole life, and that's your job. I get paid 7 times. Every move I make on this deal, I get paid 7 times. I would call that multiple streams of income, wouldn't you? And guess what? I got paid to lose 500 pounds, millions of dollars to lose it. I mean, I don't know. You show me a better deal than that. I'm all in, and I'll call Mark and we'll all get in. What I want to try to do is I want to punch something that turns it loose in you. Every one of you are sitting on the line tonight, and she spent her time right now away from her kids and her organization is part of as a sister sideline to come toward you to that one word or that one phrase or that you get the belief system that you believe you deserve it. And then when you believe that your wife and kids deserve it, there ain't nothing can stop you at that point. It's all in what you believe. And when you truly believe it and you're going to become a professional, you'll work like one. If you're going to stay that hobby and playing around and you living for the weekends in the 6-pack and down at the lake or whatever, I don't do that either. You know why? Because my time is more valuable. I need to invest because what? I want a return on my time. And therefore, you're not paying somebody else interest. They're paying you interest because your money is working for you. If you work hard and invest your time, your money will always work for you. You've just become your what? Your own bank. God, I hope that resonates. Carissa?
It definitely did, and I hope it did for everyone else. I definitely have my notes. I'm definitely have the recording to rewatch back on some stuff I may have missed, but I want to ask one last question to close it out for you. Give us one task that you would like for everyone to do.
So I would say, here's the thing, that if you want to change your business today, something that can produce literally starting tonight, tomorrow, is sending those 30 messages. It is a non-negotiable from here on out as of August 5th of 2021. I started this on the 15th of last month, and I ended the month enrolling 31 LCs. Now, for some, they signed 200. I'm not worried about everybody else. I'm worried about me. That was more than what I had produced before. And now I was proud of that, right? So what I say all that to say, you can do this. Sending 30 messages, anyone can do. You pray over it, you're obedient, you put your phone down, you go to bed, you wake up, and then you can get in your inbox after gratitude happens, right? But 30 messages, that is the call to action. Every single night, you set a timer, set a reminder. You get in Carissa or Rusty's inbox. Hey, I sent my 30 messages. You can. Some of my girls, they screen record to hold themselves accountable. Whatever you need to do, you send those 30 messages. Okay. You may get left on red. You may have 0 messages. You may only have 1 response in the morning. It doesn't matter. You keep sending them. Right. You keep sending them. So that would be the call to action.
Love it. I'm so excited. I'm working on mine as we speak. I already have everything in place. So the key thing about this is, guys, is when she says send those 30 messages, that's for you to have to start your business tomorrow.
Yes.
Not for you to reply to them tonight. Let them sit. Let it sit. This is a coachable moment, guys.
Yes.
Let it sit. Coachable moment. Okay, let it sit. All right, I don't want to inbox some of y'all that I know won't let it sit. Let it sit. Okay. Now, this is how you're going to be structured and oh, hey, Courtney, I didn't see you on here. So this is how you're going to be structured in your day and be productive. So I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys to have gotten something from this and, you know, continue to be consistent in your journeys. Understand that everybody is going to have something negative that they want to say, but it's just you blocking it out and keeping the positive around you. And me, I block it out all the time. I have no problem with it. If you feel like somebody about to say something negative, do not let that be the first thing that you listen to or hear from in the morning. If you feel like that person is negative, do not let it be the last thing you hear or speak to before bed. That's another thing that I work on. So if I feel like that person is that type, that's not the first message I'm reading, nor the last message that I'm reading before bed. Me too. I'm someone that has also been in the field of the medical field. And once leaving that field, realized that a lot of things changed for me. The drinking all the time was because of work. It was a stressful environment. I drank because of that place. I was a type 2 diabetic when I was there. I no longer was when I left. And so it's so much that goes into it where you need to look at yourself and your health and see that some of these things is going to be more helpful for you. Where you feel like right now you're comfortable in where you are at your job, you feel like that's a comfort zone, but at the same time, it's draining. It's adding years to you. You know, I'm grateful that I still probably find 2 gray hairs. Some of y'all may have about 50 of them because you let somebody getting to you. You know, I pulled them 2 out. They not staying. They can't stay here. But just understand that, you know, that type of stuff is going to happen. So you have to do what is it now? Tell me, Tavia or Tavia, which one?
Tavia.
Okay. That A is strong. Got it.
Strong.
So you guys have to listen to I caught an ADD moment. It's gone. So when you guys have to listen to different things that Tavia was saying, because it's going to be helpful for you being able to self-identify things that you're going through and or things that you're telling yourself. Maybe you're not posting the way you want to because you feel like something is not perfect about that post. Maybe you're not posting the way you want to or sending those messages out because something is just not right. Don't worry about it. It's trial and error. People will love it either way. They might comment on it if you spell something wrong. Don't worry about it. People spell stuff wrong all the time, and I noticed they got 50 messages and comments still. So don't even worry about all that. Just put that message out and talk how you talk and put it out. You know, I have people that try to inbox me to correct my English all the time, and I will not reply. I won't read it because that's not what we about to do over here. You're going to let me speak the way I speak and send my message the way I send it. So just be you in your posts. Be the way that you are. Do not try to be something that you're not. You're going to see a lot of different leaders that may put out all these pretty pictures all the time, but I'm telling you, behind closed doors, they're probably messaging 500 people. You know, everyone works their business differently. Yeah. So you have to understand that and just be you with your posts and be unapologetically you, be fearlessly you, and understand that, you know, you can do this. We all can. It just takes that mindset of being able to switch. Oh, sorry, I'm on 5% on this iPad. Being able to switch that mindset. So work those muscles up there in that brain. Tell them muscles every day that they can do it. That all you gotta do is just do that one extra thing a day. Send that one extra message a day. post that one extra message a day, that one extra post, put that one extra positive thing out there a day, put that one extra testimony about yourself out there a day that you're getting from products. Change your mind, work those muscles in there, because by all means, whatever you're going through in life is going to be changing for you. You just got to go through it and understand that it's going to happen and that you're going to get through it. And once you get through it, you're going to look back on it and say, I did it. So enjoy your night, guys. Hopefully this helped y'all out. We're going to see y'all again next Tuesday. Remember, in between now and Tuesday, we got power hours coming up, corporate power hour tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. You got weekend marathons that happen every weekend, as usual, always there. You got things that's happening on Monday. We got the corporate call on Sunday. Like, there's so much for you to stay busy with, to keep your mind busy, even if you just have it in your ear while you're walking around, just to give that goodness in your ear. Like I told y'all, I was on Zooms, listening to Zooms so that I can fold up all them clothes. Now, I ain't put them up yet, but I folded them, okay? Just know that it's gonna take 2 weeks. So just understand, guys, we just gotta work it, okay? All right, enjoy your night. Let me stop this recording.